Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is all about preparation on a real chessboard with no digital interface. So now you are able to understand the Italian 4 knights following a 15-move line of a strong preparation. Let's jump right into it. White opens with the king's pawn, controls the center, the f5 and d5 squares, and opens up this long diagonal to the bishop, which black immediately responds with pawn to e5, contesting the center as well. Instantly, white follows up with knight f3, developing the knight towards the center, attacks the e5 pawn. Knight c6 develops the knight towards the center and protects the pawn on e5. Bishop c4. The characteristic move of the Italian game is bishop c4, which attacks the f7 pawn. That is the worst weakness of the black, and these moves also prepares to castle. In the meantime, black goes for knight f6, developing another piece towards the center and attacking the pawn on e4. Knight c3, defending the hanging pawn on e4, and also fights the center. And white takes the pawn anyway on e4. Black uses a well-known tactic at this very moment to fight for a good position and fighting for space on the center. Knight takes knight is forced, and black will launch d5, attacking both pieces. So white just grabs the knight for the moment. And there you have it, d5. This is what we call it in chess a fork, attacking two pieces with a minor one. And here black gains space on the center and threatening to win the bishop pair. That's why bishop d3 keeps the bishop pair and puts his bishop on a position so it can recapture the pawn in case of d takes knight on e4 that is forced. And look how black has a good position right from the opening with these opened diagonals for his both bishops and also the queen as his file open. Bishop takes back the pawn on e4 and puts his bishop in the center of the board, very well placed with this great scope. Bishop d6, developing another piece to the center, protects the e5 pawn and prepares to castle. White puts his king on safety, and black does the same. Both are prepared for the fight. Now a good move for white will be put his rook on e1 and centralize it. There you have it. Centralizing the rook on the e-file threatens to win the e5 pawn at the same time. First, removing one defender, the knight on c6, which creates this double attack with the rook and the knight, leaving white with one only defender. That's why black develops his dark square bishop to g4, pinning the knight on f3. h3, questioning the bishop either go back or takes the knight on f3, also creating a luft for the king. Black decides to simply goes back with the bishop and keeps the pressure on the knight. Remember guys, this is the well-known theory, already played out hundreds of times before. Bishop takes knight on c6, taking the knight on c6, doubling the pawns on a c-file, damaging the pawn structure. That is the point of all of it. Look now for this 3-pawn island. In other hand, black has his compensation, that is the bishop pair, controlling many squares with the game opened. White just thinks for a bit and strikes in the center and opens the diagonal to activate the bishop, the dark squared bishop. which black gets rid of a weak pawn and releases the pressure on the center. Now how white will continue here to get the pawn back. And there it is, g4, forcing the bishop to go back, grabbing space on the king side, prepares to take the pawn with the queen, I believe, keeps the knight on f3 to control these squares, avoiding the queen to enter in the position, and in the meantime the bishop did go back to g6. Queen takes back the pawn and stay very active now on the center of the board with many good squares to go. Black plays c5 with tempo, kicking away the queen at the same time. With c5, black opens up this long diagonal to his queen or bishop and defends his own pawn. Queen to c3, controlling this long diagonal, aiming the black king and also protecting the knight on f3 for the moment. This was a training, instructive and educational content that allows you to learn how to play this strong preparation. By following a 50-move line, you stay focused on that variation from start to finish, avoiding getting lost in excessive nuances. So you reach the end of this line with greater clarity. This preparation is very accurate because most of the moves are theory, the well-known moves played hundreds of times before, and then a few moves suggested by the computer. This content is important to you, not only to know the moves of this variant and memorize them, but to understand the line and the ideas behind. So the challenge for you to learn and improve is this great opportunity to follow these 4 steps. Comment your thoughts below. Suggest a new opening for me to do another strong preparation for you. Oh, and just subscribe to be part of this community. There is a lot of high quality preparation coming your way. A huge and sincere thank you to you.